for the COVID debate in the sense that your states led the way in allowing schools and businesses to operate without mandates and restrictions. And, you know, every time I talk to people, they're flocking to Florida to either move there or vacation there. In fact, some of your own colleagues on the Democratic side have spent their time down there despite decrying the restrictions in their own states, then go down to your state. So, Congresswoman, when you come back to Washington, is that a discussion that you guys have sometimes with other colleagues, either on your side of the aisle or the others, in terms of what's going on in Florida and how it's working?
Well, good to see you, Sean. Yes, we actually do. We get quite a chuckle about it. And I know Carlos and I, along with several of our colleagues here in the Sunshine State, have joked about offering up legislation that says that you cannot visit the Sunshine State if you are practicing the draconian lockdowns and forced mandates and supporting them vocally in your state. Because the hypocrisy really of the left knows no bounds. And what we have seen repeatedly is people want to live by, rules for thee, but not for me. They want masks in schools, masks on our kids. They want you to show an ID and a vax card to get into buildings and restaurants in New York City. But then they come down to Florida and they're partying maskless and, saying that nobody needs an ID to vote. So, we expose this on a regular basis. We laugh about this and say, no one takes these folks seriously. And I think the American people have woken up to the woke left. And that's why I think this November is going to be the biggest red wave that we've ever seen. And it's because, really, like you said, Florida's been ground zero in exposing hypocrisy and showing what freedom really is.
Congressman, you were a first responder. Has that played into a lot? I mean, do your colleagues look at you and rely on your background and your expertise when talking about some of the COVID regulations and responses in their states?
Yeah, and also remember that I was the mayor of Miami-Dade County, and so I was, the Governor DeSantis called me like the governor of Southeast Florida, and so, I dealt with COVID for over a year, and as Kat said, I just find it, very amusing that that those that want to lock everything down come to Miami, and we call it maskless in Miami, and they party and they do the things that they're not supposed to be doing in New York and California. I think the governor said there's like 5 governors that were lockdown state governors that came down to Florida to go maskless, and then obviously we saw AOC coming down and she was maskless. And then Swalwell, he was maskless. So that, just the big hypocrisy. And, it's gotten very clear and it's very evident that, the data shows that if you lock down or you didn't lock down, there's no difference. And so, hey, we need to open up, we need to get back. America needs to open up again and be just like Florida, and enjoy the freedoms that we have down here. And I'm happy to return home after every session. And I go back to the free state of Florida. And I'm kind of sad that I have to go to the People's Republic of D.C., every once in a while to do my business.
Yeah.
Congresswoman, speaking about experience, one of the things I love about your story is that you grew up on a cattle ranch. You understand the hard work that it takes to run a small business. How have you been able to implement that in Congress, or have you been able to?
You're talking to me?
Absolutely.
Congresswoman Cammack.
Yeah, okay. Because I also grew up on a cattle ranch, okay? So that's fine.
All right, well, you can weigh in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the thing that I talk about often with my colleagues is the fact that not only did I grow up the daughter of a single mother, not only did we lose our cattle ranch at the hands of a big government program that was a Democrat program, I've seen firsthand what the Democrat programs, their social justice warrior mindset does to working class families. They want to trap people in poverty. That's what these programs are designed to do. They trap people in poverty because they're designed with an equal outcome in mind. And having come from homelessness to now the House of Representatives in under a decade, well, that's only possible in a country like America. where we value equal opportunity over equal outcome. And so when I talk on the House floor, when we're debating these horrific bills and they're saying we need to spend more money, we need to put more money into these social justice warrior programs, I stand there and can speak from real experience that, listen, if I had been living under more legislation like what Biden and Pelosi want to push, I would have been trapped in that system for probably my entire life. And that's why I fight so ferociously for programs that are designed to give people a hand up, not a hand out. And so taking those experiences has been really powerful, especially when we're fighting up against things like defunding the police, where Cori Bush wants to say she's going to defund police, but spend $200,000 on private security. I told her to her face just last week, I wasn't privileged enough when I was homeless to have $200,000 to spend on private security. But I knew that if I got in trouble, I could dial 911 and someone would answer the call. So it's the real world experience that's lacking in Washington, and I'm glad to be a part of the solution in bringing it.
I'm glad to have you both there. Congressman Gimenez, I don't have a lot of time left, but I do want to get your take on this because you've been there now. Is there anything, if you could change it, you would say this reform needs to be changed or we need to change this in Congress? One thing, got 30 seconds for you.
Look, I mean, we need to work together in Congress. One of the things that's disappointing to me is that when I got here, that there is no bipartisanship. It's all very partisan. The Democrats want it their way, and there's no way that we can be bipartisan because what the stuff they want to do is crazy. It's absolutely, pushing everything to the left, pushing toward a more socialist country. I came from Cuba. I came from that system, and so what Kat said about opportunity, that's what my parents brought me here to give me the freedom to have the opportunity to go as far as I can. And look, in one generation, we went from communism to Congress. What other country in the world, can a kid came here for 6 years old, ended up being a fire chief, being a mayor of a major American, community, and then going to Congress? It doesn't happen very often. That's why I love this country, and I want to keep this country the same country that we came here, the land of opportunity, the land of freedom, the land of free speech. That's what I'm going to be fighting for, in next year. And when we take over the control of Congress, that's we're going to push this thing back, back to the middle, back to the right. That's where it belongs.
All right. Thank you both for being here. I really appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. All right. Former Acting Attorney General and U.S. Attorney Matt Whitaker joins us with a legal breakdown of special counsel